Hi! We will highlight the situation of the Nahua language in Mexico, a heritage from the Aztec Empire with the fate representing many indigenous languages in Mexico.
Nahuatl is an indigenous language that has been spoken by Nahuas in Mexico since the 13th century. The Nahuas are an indigenous group of people that made up most of the Toltec and Aztec empires. Originally, Nahuatl was primarily an oral language, with the written language consisting only of pictographs as shown in this picture. However, the Aztecs were forced to adopt the Spanish alphabet after the colonization in 1521. Today, the Nahuas make up the biggest population of indigenous people in Mexico, consisting of 2.7 million people. However, of these, only 1.5 million speak the Nahuatl language. 200,000 of these only speak Nahuatl, meaning that they cannot communicate with the rest of Mexico. Most Nahuatl speakers live in central Mexico in former Aztec areas. The three states that host the most Nahuatl speakers are Puebla, Veracruz, and Hidalgo.
The speakers of Nahua still represent a very vibrant and alive culture in Mexico. It still is the largest indigenous language in Mexico spoken today. But sadly, there is a trend of a diminishing population of speakers in Mexico. There has been a lot of reporting on indigenous languages disappearing in the world. Main factors that contribute are economic and social pressure to learn the majority language within the country. But there's also a question of resource allocation. According to Hugo Lopez Hernandez, a promoter of culture and a teacher in Nahua, the Mexican government does not give enough resources for teachers to actually be promoting and educating in Nahua.
After having the opportunity to interview a friend that is currently learning Nahua, I am able to share the key points in regard to the community and language's importance in society and thus why action on this issue must be taken. The intangible heritage in form of social practices is a cornerstone in the development of a national and personal identity. And also the preservation of this language results in the positive reinforcement of the social fabric, as well as the integration of minorities and vulnerable groups in Mexico. A problem of national importance cannot be resolved with a single action, but as committed and interested students in our communities, we can help tip the scales. For this issue, we propose the following set of actions. Firstly, we can educate ourselves in regard to policies and laws related to the responsibilities of Mexico to preserve this language and spread the word. This allows people to demand their rights and raise the standard for what the country can do in relation to saving the language. More importantly, we can educate ourselves and others through the myriad of information that is revolving the preservation of native languages, as well as for making a point for the inclusion and celebration of the cultural diversity present in our environment. To close up, we would like to share a poem in Nahua, written by Miguel León Portilla to better exemplify the threat of a dead language. This poem is When a Tongue Dies.
Tezcalimani Usteki, Netzasilistli Illegualo, Semigual Necahualo, Totrocayo, Motolito.